This week we welcome Minette Cooper, a Brisbane-based actor known from A Girl's Guide to World War and an upcoming short film named It'll Pass.
And so I didn't know who they were though. So I rocked up, did the audition, then went home and Googled them, and I'm so glad I did it when I got home and not before the audition. And I went and told my drama teacher and she was like, Michael Ford? Marjorie Ford? Like, what? So that was pretty cool.
In this week's episode, we talked about what it's like acting in the same role for half a decade.
I think definitely in the beginning when you're just starting rehearsals, you're like, yeah, I know this stuff, you know, and then when it gets to crunch time, you're like, no, okay, you know, let's get it together and do what you need to do.
Weird first acting experiences.
Can we get the synopsis of Pennsylvania?
Okay, so
name.
you know the story about the prodigal son?
Yeah.
So it's that, but Antland.
And whether or not you should study acting outside of school.
And I didn't get in twice. And I think that kind of broke me a little bit, but in the right ways, you know, because it was like, no, I really still want this. And I'm going to be here and work alongside these people that said no to me.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Froe Show. My name is Frank Mencken, and I'm joined, as always, by my beautiful co-host, Joe Murray.
Hello, Froe.
And we are joined by a beautiful guest this week, Minette Cooper.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Minette, you're an actor. You have done some musical theatre stuff. You're a performer, stage and film and TV and all that fun stuff. Do you maybe want to just give your own little bio and we can go from there?
Bio. I should know this really, really well because I write them all the time, but I never know how to describe anything I do. Actor, singer. I'd like to call myself a dancer, although I've never really done it professionally. I can move. Let's just say that. Yeah, exactly.
Movement.
What else? Yeah, no, that's about it. You know, I do some modelling on the side, but no one's paid me yet. But that's okay. It's fun. Photography's fun. It's fun.
You need to stop fighting for those payments. They're like $20 if you want to put it on Instagram. Done.
I wonder if they'll actually be okay with that, you know? I've always wondered that. But then I don't want to be that person, you know? It's take a photo of me and then pay me for it.
I think it depends on whether you approach the photographer or not.
I know, true.
If a model approaches me and is like,
We've never done that shoot, by the way.
I know. It's just never
years
happened.
In the making.
I know. Well, literally, I was saying on the vlog before, we haven't seen each other in 3 years, I think.
Yeah, something like
that. Which is wild.
I know.
Okay. Do you want to? We just had this conversation, but do you want to do the how we met thing again?
Yeah. So what Griffith?
Yeah.
Acting and musical theatre auditions.
Yeah.
2018.
19.
18.
No, end of 18.
Yeah. Because we were just fresh out of school.
Yeah.
What a fun experience that was. Do you remember?
I remember how
happened?
absolutely terrifying it was.
I was so scared. I went home. I think I shed a tear or two after that experience. That was so intimidating. But I remember they made me play tennis while saying my monologue from Children of the Black Skirt, which, if you don't know, there's a monologue at the end where it's from the baby's perspective. So this ghost of a baby kind of comes to life and tells the story about the mother who was sexually assaulted, and it's very dark. Yeah. Anyway, so I was performing that. It was very emotional. And then they're like, yes, yeah, that was great. Now, can we see you play tennis while doing that? And I was like, okay, let's go. And so I did it. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm doing this so well. And then they're like, okay, now keep that and stand very still. And I was like, Crazy.
I don't even remember. I remember having to do something weird, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. I know that I did the Richard III monologue.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Shakespeare.
But I cannot remember what my weird thing was. It was also something equally as dumb.
Yeah.
It was do it, but pretend you're a lion or something like that.
There was some funny ones. Yeah. That was crazy. And musical theatre was even crazier though, I feel.
Yeah. That was classic New York Broadway auditions where it's like open room, you walk, there's a window on the door, you walk in, it's like just a room full of people, and it's just like way too big for the amount of people that's in the room. And then you have to stand in the middle in front of like 6 people that are sitting down.
The worst thing ever.
And then they go, okay, sing this note. And then you have to go,
oh no, that was acting. In musical theatre you just had to get up and
it was just
sing
the song,
your song.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
in front of
nerve-wracking.
everyone.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, and then for the acting section of musical theatre, remember they got us to get something out of the box and make up a short story in like 20 seconds.
I remember mine. I got a one of those rubber bouncy balls, and I made up this whole monologue about how my little brother died in like a horrific accident.
Oh my god. I had a matchbox, and I said that like someone proposed to me at a fair, and that was what they gave me the ring in. And they actually cut me off. They're like, okay, thank you. I was like, damn.
That's the worst though, because you don't know if they cut you off for a good reason or a bad reason.
Yeah.
Like you don't know if they're like, she's got it, or if they're like, this is horrific.
Yeah, definitely the second, I reckon. It was pretty bad.
But what happened after that? Because I like pretty much like I saw you once after that, and that was for a show that you were in, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yep.
But what happened after that point?
So I got into drama at QUT, studying music production as my minor as well. So then, I was just doing that, which was very, very enjoyable, although they're very theory based, which I was like about, because I love the practical. So they have like a couple units on performance, which was so fun. They had like the authentic performer, and then they had the responsive performer, so a drama and a comedy. And for the comedy, I did mask theatre, so it's literally putting on like a full head thing. Have you ever heard of like Clint Bolster?
Nope.
Okay, he basically created it, and it's like no expressions because you're just wearing this thing, but it's all like in your body. So it's like Mr. Bean kind of style, you know, that kind of like really small like head movements and like fidgeting with your hands and stuff. It's really, really cool. But yeah, that was what I was doing. Now it's done. So I'm officially
Wild.
Graduated. Crazy. Time flies, but yeah. And then what else have I been doing? A lot. Girls' Guide to World War. That was around that time.
I want to talk about that for a little bit, I think, because that's been a really big part of your journey over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did you even get... First off, what is Girls' Guide?
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay. So Girls' Guide to World War is it's a true story. It's a musical about the women on the front line in Serbia in World War One. And it's like based around Dr. Agnes Bennett, who's a New Zealand doctor, and a woman called Dr. Lillian Cooper, who was actually Australia's first female surgeon. And she was like the first woman to drive a car in Brisbane, kind of thing, like very like big moments that we just have no idea about. It's really crazy. So basically, no one wanted women in the army. And so they just kept on being turned away. And then they all decided to kind of create their own thing and do it themselves. And the Serbians really appreciated everything that they did, because they ended up saving so many lives that the rest of the people were just kind of like, they're done for, you know? And then they turned it into a musical because Katie and Alethea are just insane. And so talented. It's ridiculous. Like, I remember walking into rehearsal rooms sometimes, and they'd be like mucking around with a new song that we were about to learn that day, and I'd be like, oh, where'd you find that? Like, clearly that's of the time. And they're like, no, like we wrote that. And I'm like, what? Like, it's just crazy stuff. How I got into it was really funny. It was while I was in year 12. And my mum is an artist, and she was in the local Mulaney art store, and they were playing musical theatre songs on the radio in the shop, and Mum was like, that's weird. And so she she went up to the desk, and she was like, so who likes the musicals? And Katie, the writer and director, she worked there with her good friend Julian, who was also in the first rendition of the show. And they're like, oh, we both do. And then my mum was saying how I just got into drama, and like I love musical theatre and everything, and they were like, oh, she should audition. And so I auditioned. and I met Michael and Marjorie Ford, which, if you don't know them, they're very esteemed Brisbane creatives and everything. And so I didn't know who they were though. So I like rocked up, did the audition, then went home and Googled them, and I'm so glad I did it when I got home and not before the audition. And I went and told my drama teacher, and she was like, Michael Ford? Marjorie Ford? Like, what? So that was pretty cool. And then I've been stuck with them ever since and wouldn't have it any other way. They're the most beautiful little family I could have asked for. Yeah.
Aww. And how many renditions has the show been through now?
Okay, so 2018 was the first, I think. Then we did it again in 2019. And I think that's the rendition that we won the 2 Matilda Awards for.
Yeah.
And then
that's the one I saw.
Yes, yeah. And then we've done, were meant to do it in 2020, but then COVID hit. And then so we just did the third one this year in February at the Powerhouse. So yeah.
Right, wow.
Yeah.
And then, so you got into that.
Yeah.
You also just finished a short film.
I did.
How did that happen? What's the process there?
So that film is a part of the Griffith film slate. And one of my friends from QUT, she moved over to Griffith to do film. And she's on the creative team of that short film specifically, and she's like, "Oi, I think you should audition for this. I think you'd be really good at this role." But no bias or anything, like it's all very professional. And so I auditioned, and I was freaking out because I've never done like film or anything. And then rocked up, did it, got a call back. I was so excited. And then I rocked up for callbacks, and I knew so many people in the callback room. I was like, oh God, like.
That's how you know you're too ingrained. You're like, I know everyone here now.
Yeah. So I'm actually like in it with a guy that I went to uni with, Regan. He did acting. And then the lead of the short film is Celine, and she is such a beautiful human. And we actually sat next to each other in the callback room, and we were just like having a little chat, and we're like, oh, I really like your pants. And she's just like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like I really like, and we were like just gelling. It was really nice. And then we actually got we did the callback as a group, me, Regan and Celine. And it felt really nice and easy and fun and everything. And then we got it, and we were all excited. And yeah, so we've been filming for the past week. We just finished on Sunday. That was our last day.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you find that there were like major differences for you as an actor between doing film and doing theatre?
Yeah.
What were the biggest ones for you then?
I think just like going from like sitting down, having a cup of tea or whatever, to like bam, action, get in that zone, and having those multiple little breaks, but then having to jump into a scene. And they also can do things backwards, like it's not always the way that the events actually roll out in the short film at the end kind of thing. So that was weird to me, because we did it, I think most of the emotional scenes were either like done at the end or the beginning, and then we did all of the things that surrounded those emotional scenes, like, I don't know. Yeah, it was crazy, but it was such a fun experience. For a first time as well. It was very, very cool.
What made you get into musical theatre first before you did screen acting? I
didn't mean to. Like, it's so funny, like all of these things that have happened, like I'm like, I didn't know it was going to happen like that. But I think just because I've always like sung, and then people are like, you can sing and act and dance, we're using you, and you have no choice in the matter. Like my music teacher in high school, she was so excited that I came to the school in like year 11 and year 12, because she's like, we can finally put on a musical. And so, and then she chose High School Musical. I was like, of all the musicals you could have chosen, I had to play Gabriela Montez. Like, I could have played Sharpay or something more interesting, but it's just always been a thing. And I love musicals as well. They're always so fun, so yeah.
Which would you prefer to do then in the long run? Would you rather be like a screen actor, or would you rather be a theatre actor?
Probably like a movie musical.
I
I think
Best of
you
both
know,
worlds.
That's such a cop-out answer, too.
Yeah. Well, because everything like you
I want
get.
to do the 7th Hairspray reboot.
Hell no. No, but like stuff like, I don't know, Les Mis or like The Greatest Showman or La La Land, you know, like where they really incorporate the technicalities of dancing and singing and doing that all at the same time. But then you're allowed to have multiple takes because it's film, you know. Like I'd rather get really good at something and then, you know, if I stuff up, be able to do it again, than just be like, I have to wait till tomorrow night, you know, to like prove that I can do it. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Was acting and musical theatre and singing and stuff always a really big part of your life growing up? Like, were your parents super into it or anything like that? Like, how did you get started?
I kind of just always liked it. Like I haven't really questioned it. It's always just been a thing that I do, and my parents have never questioned it at all. Like, I think the only thing that they've really said to me is like, get your head out of the clouds, you know, that kind of thing. But
In what way? Like,
I don't know. I think I just get really like I'm gonna do stage things one day, and like, you know, that kind of thing. They're like, yeah, it's a tough industry. Like, calm down, you know, like bring it back down. But I've never let, you know, that kind of thing just. Actually, that's not true. That always sometimes seeps in. You're like, ah. But yeah, no, it's always been a thing, I think. Yeah.
Always like, were you always more interested in theatre then? Like, were you, like you mentioned that you were doing musicals growing up. I guess that would have been like, what, like middle school that you did your first musical?
It was primary school. So primary school I did this weird show. I don't even remember what it was about, but apparently this is what my mum said. She said that I just like, all I had to do was push a pram with a little doll baby in it. And apparently, like, as soon as I got on stage, like, I was like, what am I doing here? And then as soon as I got on stage and saw that people were looking at me, I was like, oh, you're right. Let's go.
Like the attention.
And then, yeah. And then ever since then, I've just been like, you're all right, you know? But yeah, and then my first like lead role in a show was playing a boy ant in the Christian musical Ansylvania.
I have
Ansylvania.
Yes, I played Anthony.
Can we get the synopsis of Ansylvania?
Okay,
Such a
so
cool name.
you know the story about the prodigal son?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that, but Antland. Yeah, no,
Wait, so were
seriously.
you the prodigal son?
I was the prodigal son.
And it was a musical, not
It was
no
a
play.
musical.
Oh, that
it's
is
fully
fantastic.
like Ansylvania, like with box steps and shit. Like, it's crazy. And I auditioned for Anthony, and then I auditioned for the Dragonfly, who was like the guy that like was like, oh, I'm gonna tempt you with money and stuff, you know. And I originally was gonna play the Dragonfly, and then our like vice principal, he called us into his office. I was up against two other guys. And he called us three into his office, and he's like, okay, each of you is going to sing the national anthem, and whoever sings it the best gets the lead role. And I sung it the best, so...
I don't understand why they changed it to ants, though.
Why not? Who wants to not watch a show about ants prancing around and like dragonflies and there's a spider and you get stuck in the spider's web in a cave? It's all like, woo, it's crazy, and it glue in the donk. Yeah, it was hectic.
So what I'm hearing is that when you have heaps of money, you're going to bring Ansylvania to Broadway.
Oh, look, I don't know about that, to be honest. Who knows?
It sounds like a really influential show, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it talks about, you know, money and fame and finding oneself and the journey of life and being young and silly, and then, you know, it's crazy.
Being an ant.
Yes.
And then
being an
ant life comes, and then that's it, you know?
And there's
Like,
so
you
many-
have responsibilities.
Right? There's so many ant puns in there as well. Everyone would go crazy. Like, they literally sing about, like, oh, what's that bit where they're like, greater than the great ants of history, like Alexander the Great, Michelangelo, Napoleon. Like,
I actually want to see this show.
Right?
Now.
I want to go
It's
see the
pretty
show now. Can you please put on just one, like, show?
a one-man show.
I wasn't gonna say it, but now you've said it, so
No,
I'm sorry.
no. I need my whole ant community around
Just
me.
bring back your original Pennsylvania cast.
Oh, no, they would hate me for it. They or
Half
you should
of them
see
are
the
like
videos.
lawyers.
They're all like hating every second, and then there's me like loving life, and I'm like jumping around everywhere. Oh, so embarrassing, so embarrassing. Yeah. So that was that.
You're like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, but
Covered.
I won the drama award for it, so that was in year
So
6.
really, it was all worth it. You got a ribbon
I
out
think
of it.
so.
So what more do you
I
need?
think so, right? What more can you ask for in year 6?
So was it like from that point on you were like, all right, yeah, like this is what I want to do, or
I think so. I don't know. I don't know when it happened that I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. I think Narnia had a lot to do with it.
that's a great movie.
It's a great movie. I think it's like the first film that I remember seeing in cinema, like when I was 5.
Oh,
And it like changed my world, you know?
Mine's, Star Wars Episode 3.
No way. Which one's that one? Is that
That's the one with the lightsaber. I specifically
with the lightsabers? That's the one with the lightsabers.
That's the one with the lightsabers. With all those
Yeah,
lightsabers.
sick. I
you know?
love that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
That's the one where they do the whole fight scene. I can spoil a movie. It's
can
25
spoil
years
Star
old.
Wars.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the
yeah.
one where Obi-Wan Kenobi like cuts off Anakin's legs and stuff, and he's
Oh.
like, "It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground." And then like everyone's
Dude.
sobbing in the cinema, and I was like, "Lightsabers."
How'd you watch such adult movies? It's your first time.
I watched Jaws when I was 6. You can blame my
Yeah.
dad
Oh
for
my
that one.
goodness.
So I still can't
Jeez.
swim in deep water.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Did you watch Jaws when you were 6 too?
No, I watched it for the first time when I was like 16, and I was still like, this is just horrible.
I'm never swimming in the ocean
Yeah,
again.
although I'm pretty sure I've always had thalassophobia, so it's okay.
I have the fear of that word. Like I have like thalassophobia, but then also just like having to say that word
I know.
instills
I
fear
know.
in my heart.
Yeah, yeah. It's
For
a big
context,
word.
thalassophobia is the fear of deep water. In
Yeah.
case that wasn't clear.
Yeah, yeah. Like really, really, really deep. Like there's like a hole in the deep water
Yeah.
kind of.
I saw a video today
No.
that was like a big container ship, and it was middle of the ocean, but there was just like this massive like rock little pointy bit sticking out of the middle, and they had to like really narrowly avoid it. And the video is like the side of the ship, and you can see the ship like just barely missing the rock. And I was like,
What?
no, no, thank you.
Have you
Good.
seen those videos of like the world's deepest pool, and it's like an
Uh-huh.
actual building, and like
I
you can go.
hate that.
What? can't do it.
I would die.
Yeah.
I would just pass away. I have
Yeah.
a friend of mine that's in the army now, and he's an avionics technician. Sends me a video on the weekend of him doing training, and the training was like a helicopter replica that you go into blindfolded, and then you have to
No.
do it in every seat. So I think there's 6 seats. You have to do it in every seat. They submerge the helicopter, and then they flip it upside down, and you have to find your way out of the helicopter blindfolded from every single seat as a training exercise while
Oh
holding
yeah, I
your
could
breath.
do that.
Yeah, yeah, I got that. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
I just
chill,
punch
chill.
a hole in the side of
Yeah.
the helicopter.
Just find the window and open it.
But I mean, like, they're open door helicopter. But still, like, he sent me the video of them doing it.
terrifying.
I was like, absolutely not.
That's messed
Absolutely
up.
not.
That's
I'm very
messed up.
glad I just carry cameras around for a living.
Did you ever watch Dinotopia?
I recently rewatched
No
Dinotopia.
way. No
Is that
way.
that movie
Rewatched
you
Dino-
showed me?
I
Oh,
showed
Twitch
him
show.
Dinotopia
That's
for the
crazy.
first time.
That
I
just
feel
gives
that.
me the vibes of when they like do the plane and then it crashes and then the seatbelt gets stuck and he
Yeah.
can't do it and,
Yeah.
and then like
And
the
then he just
scene-
dies. Then he just straight up dies. Have
That's
you
crazy.
rewatched Dinotopia recently?
No, but I've seen it so many times.
It does not hold up.
Oh well, yeah, I know, but like it didn't hold up like 10 years ago.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, like the dinosaurs just with their massive. What are they called? They're not are they like
Paws? Are they
pads?
paws?
Paws,
Feet? Legs.
Just feet, legs. Yeah.
Paws. If they were animals
No.
now, they would be paws.
Paws?
The
No.
lizards
Well,
have paws?
No.
What about
they
like elephants?
like pads.
Elephants have.
Yeah,
I don't
what
know,
are
it'd be
they?
the same as
Trunks,
elephants.
buddy. They have.
Tr-
I have
That's
no
actually
idea.
such an interesting question.
I don't know. I want an answer now. I'm gonna
don't
say
know.
they're just feet.
Feet.
They're just feet.
Dinosaur feet.
Dinosaur
Yeah.
feet.
Oh, have you seen the new Jurassic World?
Yeah. Did you
No,
like it?
I haven't.
I thought it was really, really cheesy, but I really enjoyed seeing the original cast and like the original soundtrack, like While like the
Thanks,
original
I forgot what the
yes.
original soundtrack was
Yeah.
for a second there.
As if. What? How can you forget?
So I actually forgot again. Do you mind doing it again for me? This is gonna go out of date so quickly. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
My
know,
immediate
me
review
too.
walking out of it was someone just watched the first Jurassic Park and took away all the wrong lessons of what made that movie
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They're like, do you want a dinosaur fight scene every 10 seconds?
I know. And it was always the same jump scares as well. It was like you could literally count down on your hand. Like everyone's okay. They're like breathing or panting or whatever. And they're 5, 4, 3, bam. And, like another thing. And it's like, okay.
The one thing that actually made me laugh out loud in the cinema that was supposed to be a serious moment that I just pissed myself. It was this one bit where it's like the big fight. I'm not going to spoil it specifically, but there's this big final showdown with a bunch of dinosaurs. And there's this like one shot where it's like they just have this random like architecture in this little park. And they have this one like circle bit.
Oh, yeah.
With the rain coming down.
And then
the T-Rex walks past this circle bit and it like roars and it makes the Jurassic Park logo
Yeah.
like in the shot. And I was
Yeah.
like, come on guys.
Yeah.
Like,
And then they recreated the original death as well, like with the spit
yeah.
thing, and then also like the car
Yeah.
turned.
I was like,
over,
guys, like we don't need to copy every.
yeah.
But
I
that,
could have just went and watched Jurassic Park 1,
and it would have been better.
And yeah, it would have
But
been
that
better.
one specific instance of like them making the logo like in the movie where it was so obvious, it was like that Leonardo DiCaprio pointing meme. Where
No,
it's
yeah.
Like, I was like, yeah. I was like, this is guys, like you could have just not done this.
Yeah.
But it's fun, yeah. So-
And it's fine.
yeah, it's okay.
It's all right.
Would you have gone into the new Jurassic World movie if you were offered a role in it?
I mean, yeah.
That wasn't very
a
convincing.
lot of thought. I mean,
Well, like, I feel like one of those movies would either make or break you as a big, like, starting out, you know? Like, it'd be
Yeah.
good because you'd be out there, but who would really remember it?
true. Yeah, true.
Like, wouldn't you rather just, like, be in this really cool indie film and be like, yeah, that was my first professional,
Yeah.
well done film?
Yeah.
Rather than, yeah, I was in Jurassic World. I don't know.
I got
just-
to work against a green screen for 6 months.
yeah, I mean, cool, but I don't
Apparently, the new
I do
the
like
new
dinosaurs.
Chris Pratt. I love dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs so much.
Me too.
The new Chris Pratt show
Oh,
came out
yeah.
this week, and it gets horrific reviews. It's apparently terrible.
What is he doing,
It's
sweetie?
Like, it's like he's like a Navy SEAL officer.
Oh,
or
I've seen the
something.
ads, yeah,
And
yeah.
And everyone was like, he's just not a believable Navy SEALs officer. He's too like goofy and lovable.
yeah.
I don't buy him in Jurassic World. I'm definitely not going to
I
buy him as a
know.
Navy SEAL officer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
let's get back to
yeah. What were we talking about?
massive tangent there for a second.
Far
But
out.
I had fun.
Ant musicals to Jurassic World. That's a big
We're
leap.
stuck with animals.
Do you think ants were around? Were ants
For
around?
sure. They had everything. Like, what? Like, massive
They even
bugs?
had Pennsylvania back then.
All right. No, but they had, like, the massive dragonflies and everything.
True, I guess
And, like,
most
the
insects and
ants
stuff.
that were...
For audio, Minette just did like a crab.
No, but they always say that they have
the mandibles. These are-
massive, yeah. But the ones that like chop down trees, or are they fake?
Are you saying like ant shrunk?
Yeah, like everything.
Right, okay.
You know, like they used to have massive
yeah, did you guys know
kangaroos.
that ants used to chop down trees?
No, maybe I'm just thinking of Mysterious Island.
Maybe.
Back in my Pennsylvania days,
My research for the character.
I
It was
actually
really
locked myself away in a hotel room for 6 months, and
and watched ants. My ants enclosure. Actually, I just left the hotel food on the floor and then just like filmed it, studied the ants.
I lived as an ant for 6 months.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, you know, that's why you lock yourself away so no one can actually see you scurry. You know, like.
Do you think that's is that a bad joke to make? It's probably bad. I was going to
Probably.
say, is that what do you think that's what Heath Ledger did? Just like
No, I
leave food
actually
around?
heard that was like a completely embellished,
Yeah.
like
yeah, it totally
fake
was.
thing. Yeah.
I read that recently too, but that didn't come out for ages.
I know. Poor dude.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
Would you ever? What do you? Okay, wait, no. Important question. What are your
Okay.
thoughts on method acting?
I think it'd be interesting to like put yourself in that kind of a way of preparing for a role, but I don't think it's necessary. Because I feel like that's, I don't know, there's just something weird about being on set with and then having someone who's so in their character that you can't even like offer them a sandwich. They're like, no, I don't eat sandwiches, you know, like something like that.
Period. Accurate sludge.
Yeah, like I don't know. I've never really done it, so I probably shouldn't have an opinion on it because I haven't experienced it. But yeah, I don't know what it would do to your mental as well. That just kind of scares me. I don't know if I have the ability to go that far. Yeah.
Yeah. What does research for a role look like for you then?
I do a lot of like going through the script and writing down, you know, intentions and what does the character think here when they say this, or, you know, I look at the other characters and what their history are like together and all that kind of jazz. And if there's any music that goes along with that, I find music is a very big help for establishing a character. Like I usually make playlists for my characters and then listen to it before I go on stage or before I start a scene or something like that. Like I'll just put it on and be like, that's their headspace, you know? But I usually just kind of play it by ear, you know, like whatever comes up, it comes up. If it's wrong, then try again, you know? Like I think it's just a process of figuring that out as you go. But yeah, I haven't really done much. Like I really haven't. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, you know, Girls Guide, that's been great. But I've been like my main character that entire time. And then only recently, like the most recent rendition of it was I playing 5 characters. And then, you know.
Hang on. Wait, hold up. Wait.
Yes, 5.
Crazy. Can you
backtrack?
Yeah, go back. Yeah.
So it started out
as
As one,
yeah.
my main character Higgins.
Yes.
And then, so she's throughout the entire thing, same gal. Then, the second round, I was also Bratic.
Yes.
With the mustache.
Yes.
And the gun.
Modeled
cool
after
dude.
me, actually.
Cool dude. So what?
So modeled after me, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Mustache.
Yeah.
Didn't even know how to describe that. Yep. That.
Yeah. And then was I also the soldier, young soldier? Yeah. So that's 3. And then in the most recent one, I was also 2 refugees that sung songs.
Right.
So like technically they're not like main roles or anything.
Wait, were you 2 separate refugees? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Not like 2 refugees in one scene. You just like
yeah, just having a conversation with myself.
Yeah, literally, that's what I was imagining. Just like the
yeah, no, that sells. That's not comedic at all.
No,
you know, in that kind of context.
No.
Yeah, no.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Carry on.
That's okay. I don't even remember what I was talking about.
You're talking about how you've done Girls Guide and. Like,
oh yeah. So yeah, that like I've maintained the same kind of characters that entire process. Was like 5 years now or something that I've been doing that. And then there's been like bits and pieces along the way of other shows and everything, but none of them, like I was thinking about this the other day and I haven't really done a full on like normal regular play, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like everything I've done, it's either been like a musical or it's been like I don't know, like I don't know, just random things. But I've never done like a Shakespeare or like a back-to-back story as a play, you know? It's always been weird things. Did you see Talking to Brick Walls? No. Okay. Yeah, because that was like a series of monologues, you know? It's not a real full-on show. I've just done weird things, really.
Yeah. With all the different renditions of that show, though, have you been able to be involved in that writing process of?
Kind of, but not really. Like, I mean, I've like ad-libbed a couple of things, you know, in rehearsal processes, and then Katie or Letha are like, ha, that's hilarious. We'll like include that. Or like I've come back and there's like sections that they wanted to increase my lines because they really liked what I did previously or something like that. But yeah, I think the only show that I've been in that has been like that has been the recent show that I did called The Politics of Vodka Lime Soda, which was a like a feminist comedy set in Blutz Bar in the Valley. Yeah, and so that was like about 3 girls dealing with like the life of dating in modern, society. And we did it as a part of our like end of year assessment in third year uni, and then they rewrote it. But when we came back and read the script through, I was reading my character's lines and I was like, I should not have told Kian half of this stuff. Like, it was just all me. Like, everything that I'd said to her, like, there was just so many digs at people that I've like, not anyone like friends or anything, just like guys, like relationship stuff, like arty indie soft boy kind of stuff, Yeah. Yeah, it was just hilarious. Like, I just kept on looking up at her when we were doing the table read, and she was just sitting there like, like she just knows. It was just, it was really funny. But
when you play a character that's like that, similar to yourself, do you find it hard to keep it separate?
Not really, because I mean, there are some times where, it's like, oh, I would say it this way. How would the character say it, But usually it's fine, because once you do it a couple of times around, you kind of figure out where they are and how you want to play them and stuff. And you can just have fun with it, especially in a show like that where you kind of have some creative license. The directors are allowing you to kind of do whatever you feel the character would do or say, or, stuff like that. That was fun. Got to be drunk. I get to be drunk in a lot of things. Oh. Yeah, not like real life drunk, but like acting drunk. Yeah.
What?
Because I was drunk in Girls Guide.
Yeah.
I was drunk in Politics, Vodka Lime Soda. And then I was drunk in this short film.
What would happen if you just learnt your lines really well?
And then just got drunk?
Just got drunk.
It's funny because the one of the things that we did with Politics of Vodka Lime Soda, so that's Tits Akimbo. That's their company name.
Sick name.
Right? Shout out. We usually do like a drunk run of the show. So like when we're like a week out of performing or whatever, we'll just come in because we know all the lines back to front, and we get drunk. And we either do like a musical version of it or we do a 15, like, or what was it? I think it's like a 3-minute version or something where you're literally just going to the beats and then going like, oh my gosh, this is happening, and then like running to the, and then just doing it, and then like if there's a dance, you just like go, like.
That's going to be my new move at the clubs. You better watch out. That's going to be me. The second Despacito comes out, I'm running onto the dance floor going,
And then he's going to skeet off the other side.
And I'm gone. Then I'm out.
Yeah.
Straight out the door,
Yeah.
peace bouncer, leave all the friends behind, get in the taxi, I'm out of there.
I'll show you my move. It's a singular twerk.
Don't show him. He won't ever stop doing
My
You can
dance.
use that.
Have you ever watched Bob's Burgers?
I just watched the movie in the cinemas. I only just have seen like one episode of it, and then my boyfriend was like, "Hey, do you want to see Bob's Burgers?" And I was like, "Sure, why
go.
not?" Yeah.
You know how Tina does that, like, the twerk thing? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
That's
So
very impressive. That's like really, really good twerking. I cannot.
We have a studio manager here, and she hates it when I do that.
You have to show.
It's on camera somewhere, but I'll show you afterwards.
later.
But every time I see her now, if I'm like far enough away from her that it's really funny,
Oh my gosh,
I'll just
that's
like
hilarious.
make dead eye contact with her and like start going like a cat that's about to throw up.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
great.
Nice. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean it's just the
Yeah.
you know.
the
Ew.
wobble of the sheet metal.
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
Anyway,
I
so
haven't
who's
thought
the-
about those
who's
things
the
in a
audio
long
engineer
time.
again?
Sorry.
Going back.
Yeah.
With Girls Guide again.
Yes.
What does it do to you as an actor playing the same character for 5 years?
Yeah. Interesting things. Cause on one hand you love the character and it's kind of like your baby. Well, it is mine in a way because that was that was my first professional role in anything. So, in that sense, I would feel really hard to let it go. Like because they're talking about putting it on with a whole new cast or whatever. And I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, yes, I'm so ready to say goodbye because I've been doing it for a while. But then on the other hand, I'm like, but they're my lines, you know? Like, it's just like, but yeah. And it's interesting to see how you can make lines different but still have them mean the same thing or come across in the same way. And then as a performer yourself, you're like, I am so bored because I'm saying the lines the exact same way. Like, how can I make this more interesting for myself when actually the audience are already going to find it interesting if they haven't seen it already, you know? So it's a really weird kind of thing to do, but it's fun. It's fun. Yeah, and it's helped that they've like given me a new character every time, so I can kind of like mix it up a little bit.
You got something else to look forward to within the show as well.
Yeah.
Do you find that you kind of get a little bit complacent then if you're just like, if you know all the lines and know exactly how you're going to perform each scene?
I think definitely in the beginning when you're just starting rehearsals, you're like, yeah, I know this stuff, you know, and then when it gets to crunch time, you're like, no, okay, you know, like let's get it together and do what you need to do. But yeah, like I haven't had any issues with it at all, really. It's just been more of a, I want to do more.
Yeah.
But then you're also completely happy where you are as well. It's very interesting.
So you kind of like at this point now where you're prepared to let that character go?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it would be a sad goodbye and I'd be very happy to pick it up again because I don't think they're finished with the show. I think it's going to definitely come back with a bang. But yeah, who knows?
We will see.
We will see.
I mean, you know, I have no idea if they're coming back or not.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
I wouldn't
wild.
know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's a bit dusty in here.
Yeah, sorry, there's a lot of
There's
the
something in my
asbestos.
eyes. God, what a dump.
Hey.
No, it's very beautiful in here. I'd live in here.
I absolutely would not. What's next for you then? Now that you're done with uni, you've done the short film, you're kind of tapering off this Girls Guide stuff. You've done quite a few other little plays here and there. What do you want to achieve next? What are you working towards?
I'd love to get more into film now that I've kind of done that and get the gist of what goes on and if I like it or not, because I never knew if I would actually like it, you know, because I'd never done it. But now I've done it, I really love it. I'm like, oh, like I really, really want to get stuck into that kind of creative direction. But I love theatre as well, so I'm open to whatever will have me. But yeah, I don't have anything booked for the rest of this year. I've got a couple projects that'll probably start up next year. But yeah. So who knows what's going to happen?
Just kind of seeing where you're going.
Yeah.
Right. What's kind of been your biggest takeaway from the projects that you've done so far?
In what sense?
Like something that maybe you didn't quite expect that you'd learn from going into being a professional actor.
I think being a really nice person is something so important and yet so lacking in the industry, because I think people they get stuck in either, you know, wanting to be famous or concentrating so much on their art that, you know, they kind of lose track of who is around them and, you know, the experiences that they're able to have. And so I think just learning to take it all in and remind yourself that, you know, you always wanted this, you know, even though it's not maybe like where you wish you were, you're still doing all of these beautiful things with these beautiful people, and like you just need to like take it all in, because it's going to end soon, you know, like even with filming, it was like a whole week, and in it I was so tired, you know, but I had to like force myself to be like, no, like this is such a good experience, you know, you need to be a part of every second of it, because this week is going to fly, and then what are you going to do then, you know? So yeah, and uni flew. It's so crazy when you're in it, you're like, this is the worst thing ever, like get me out.
Yeah, I know, I left.
You got out, okay?
I left twice.
Oh my gosh. See? It's hard. It's hard when you're in it. You're just like, no, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And then you look back and you're like, wow, like that was crazy, but we did it. It's okay.
We did that.
We did that.
I mean, well, you guys did that.
We did that.
Hey, you did it.
I
Tried to do it.
I did a year and a half.
Yeah, see? You got
Bubayashka.
been there, done that, got the t-shirt, you know.
I wish I got a t-shirt. I thought about buying a t-shirt.
You didn't get a t-shirt?
I did not
It's
get
like
a
one of the
t-shirt.
first things you do when you go to university. Go get the t-shirt.
Maybe that's why I dropped out.
Maybe.
I wasn't engaged.
You weren't committed
I
enough.
wasn't committed to the brand.
Didn't get the welcome pack.
Didn't suck up to the right people, clearly.
Nah. Crazy.
What value as an actor then did you see in tertiary education?
I think as in like in the craft or as a person.
Both.
Big questions, man. No, it's good. It's good. We need deep questions. I think being aware of what you yourself hold very, wow, I can't even talk. Like know what's important to you as a person and as an actor. Like don't be afraid to stand up for what you think you should be in or a part of, or if there's people you don't want to work with or do want to work with, like make that very clear, while also learning as much as you can from the right people though, because there are people in those kind of tertiary education places that have a lot of sway in what will be taught to you, and that's great, that's cool, but take only what works for you, like don't, if they say something and it's completely against everything you believe in or like just kind of doesn't sit right with you in the way that you want to work with others or be perceived by others in the industry, then don't let that kind of do anything to you. You just have to kind of go, okay, that's an opinion, but I feel this way about something. And it's really hard because, you look up to a lot of people in those kind of places, but then sometimes people make mistakes and you're like, damn, like I really hoped that this would turn out differently. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Well, words. But yeah, does that answer? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So do you think that studying at uni developed you more as a person, or was more valuable in developing you as a person rather than as an actor?
I think so, yeah, because I think because I also auditioned for QT acting twice and I didn't get in twice, and I think that kind of broke me a little bit, but in the right ways, because it was like, no, I really still want this, and I'm gonna be here and work alongside these people that said no to me for the next couple years, and who knows what I'll be doing, but I know that they're gonna still know who I am. You know what I mean? And I have lecturers that come to my shows now and they're like, and just almost proving to myself that I can do it and I don't need that kind of a program in order to help me be the best actor I can or whatever, and I've got so many friends in those subjects that are like, no, you don't need it, but when you're in that kind of industry, you're like, I need all the training I can get and no one's going to tell me otherwise. But then when you're in it again, it's like, I just need to do what I need to do for myself, and stay true to, I guess, your passions. And if you think you can do it, then you can do it. I'm just going to get all sappy now. Because,
we love sappy. I think I'm gonna ask one last thing before we're gonna have to start slowly wrapping it up.
Sure.
But you're the first actor that we've had on the show so far.
Crazy.
Which is wild. We've had painters and musicians and visual artists and 3D artists and graphic designers and just a wild array of people. I just can't believe that we haven't had an actor on yet, considering that 12 years of my life was in acting.
I know, that surprises me too.
Yeah. But by extension of being the first actor that we have had on the show. You're also the first female actor that we've had.
Wow.
So I wanted to put out there, what are your thoughts on the whole actor/actress thing that's kind of been coming through over the past, I'd say, 5 years, where we're just moving towards the gender-neutral actor? What are your thoughts and opinions on that?
Someone was actually asking me about this the other day. I think I settled on, like, I think blanket actor, you know, like everyone's an actor, whatever. But then when it comes to awards, in order to kind of like show different categories, actress, actor, or like something along those lines, you know, because otherwise that then opens up, like, you know, male and female, whatever gender you are, awards specific to that gender. And then that's a whole other can of worms that I don't think anyone is ready to, you know, go into. But yeah, I mean, we're all actors in our own way. Surely we can just say, yeah, you're a good actor. Thank you and good
my mum
night.
after my first theatre show.
What did you say?
So you sound like my mum after my first theatre show.
Everyone's an actor.
Yeah, you're a good actor.
Wait, was it like, you're a good actor?
Yeah. Kidding. My mum was very supportive. That's
Yeah.
what she said about Joe.
Yay, Mum.
We do have to wrap it up. We are kind of coming towards the end here. Hit it, Joe.
Yeah. Is there anything in the show so far that you wish we had talked about, or a topic you wish we talked about, a story you wish you could have told, anything you're expecting to talk about coming to the show?
World peace.
Go on then.
Yeah, right.
What's your theory?
No, it would take too much time. We're wrapping it up. I can't, guys. I can't.
Next time.
Yeah. No, I'm all good. Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Well then, the last thing is,
Oh my gosh.
what would your advice be to someone who is just thinking about or is just starting a career in acting?
Okay. Make sure that you love it with your entire heart, because it gets very hard and you'll have a lot of different opinions like said to you, and you'll have a lot of different opinions that you yourself make as you go into the industry. But you just have to, you know, make sure that it's something that you really, really want, and for the right reasons as well, you know, like love the art of it, love the emotions that you bring to people by doing it, you know, rather than what can I get out of this, you know. There's a little bit of that, but make sure it's like a positive version of that, you know. Yeah. If you're in it for the money, don't do it, because you don't make any. Yeah.
That's why Frank is not an actor.
Hey, I still make no money.
Yeah.
Just in a different field.
Oh no.
Hey,
One day.
forget about it.
Hey, you're a good actor.
Hey, that was me.
Wow. We should do a show here.
They've done a show here in this
way.
very bay.
Wow.
And when you were
Wow.
talking about, it's total sidetrack, but we'll finish here. They did a show very recently called Slipping, and you were talking about the mask stuff, and one of the characters in the show was a masked, gloved, weird, big, gross shoe wearing Mr.
Whoa.
Bean type character.
Whoa.
So it made me think of that, but it was a really good show, and if they ever do that again, 100% I will invite everyone I know.
Heck yeah. Keen.
Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. Minette, where can people find you?
Instagram, Minette Cooper, but with 2 E's, because my other account, I've been locked out of it. So don't go to that account, please.
Okay, so Cooper.
No, sorry, Minette with
Minette.
so MINETTEE COOP.
I'll link it. It'll be linked.
Thank you. Plug. Wow.
Wow. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We have a little tradition on the show. We have an outro song.
Cute.
Hopefully it plays, because the past 3 weeks it has not played on the speaker. But it will still be in the recording.
Okay.
Either way, there's a little button here, a little maroon button. What's going to happen is I'm going to do the outro. I'm going to say bye. Joe's going to say bye. You're going to say bye. And then
Okay.
you're going to hit this little maroon
I get to
button.
press it.
You get to press the
Oh
button.
my gosh, I'm so
Okay.
excited.
All right. You ready?
Not the blue one, right?
Not the blue one.
Not the
the
blue
little
one.
maroon one. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
Bye, bye, bye. Yeah?
Okay.
Breathe in too hard. Thank you so much for listening to or watching this episode of The Froe Show. We had a great time. Thank you so much, Minette, for joining us. Go check out Minette on Instagram and go to her shows. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week. Also, rate us on Spotify. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yes. Yeah. I was like, whoa, so many questions. I like should have really like gone through my life story and gone, okay, what do you want to say to people?